The secret behind the colors, the hidden meaning of the American flag. They say every color tells a story. But what if the red, white, and blue of the American flag, those familiar shades fluttering proudly across the nation, carry a mystery far deeper than most Americans realize? It's a tale that began long before the birth of the United States, one that threads through ancient symbols, secret societies, and a nation's dream of freedom. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Nation's Colors. June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress gathered in Philadelphia. Amid the echo of heated debates and the thick scent of candle wax, the delegates approved a simple yet powerful resolution: that the flag of the 13 United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white; that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. The design was straightforward, yet the choice of colors was not explained. There was no record of why red, white, and blue were chosen. For decades, historians assumed they were borrowed from the British Union Jack, a symbol the colonies had rebelled against. But there was another possibility, one that whispered about in private letters and Masonic lodges, that the colors carried secret meanings tied to the Founding Fathers' deeper vision. Chapter 2. The Secret Code of the Founders. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and many of the Founding Fathers were Freemasons, members of an ancient fraternity that valued symbolism, moral virtue, and enlightenment. The Masonic traditions were filled with color symbolism. In Masonry, red represented sacrifice and courage. White symbolized purity and truth. Blue stood for loyalty, justice, and the heavens. When historians compared these meanings to the flag, something clicked. The flag was not just a banner of unity, it was a coded message about the moral foundation of the new nation. Washington himself once wrote that the colors represented the principles that guided us through the Revolution. Though he never elaborated, the parallels with Masonic symbolism are too close to ignore. Chapter 3. The Forgotten Seal. Before the flag was finalized, the Continental Congress had already designed something else: the Great Seal of the United States. In 1782, Charles Thomson, Secretary of Congress, explained the seal's symbolism. White stands for purity and innocence. Red for valor and hardiness. Blue, the color of the chief, represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The explanation sounds familiar, but here's where it gets mysterious. These were exactly the same colors later assigned to the flag, but the official statement came after the flag's adoption. Was the seal explaining the flag, or was the flag echoing a secret meaning from its hidden origins? Some historians believe both were designed under the same esoteric guidance, that of the Enlightenment ideals encoded through Masonic philosophy and ancient heraldry. Chapter 4. Ancient Echoes. The color trio of red, white, and blue is older than the United States itself. It appeared in the coats of arms of European knights, symbolizing courage, red, faith, white, and truth, blue. In the French tricolor, born from revolution and liberty. Even older still, in the heraldic banners of ancient crusaders. Some researchers have traced the symbolism back to ancient Egypt, where red stood for life and energy, white for purity, and blue for divine protection. When the founders chose those colors, consciously or not, they tapped into a lineage of symbols representing the eternal human struggle for freedom and moral order. It wasn't just a design, it was a bridge between past civilizations and a new experiment in democracy. Chapter 5. The colors that bled. The red of the flag is not just pigment, it's blood. It recalls the spilled lives at Bunker Hill, Saratoga, and Yorktown. When the flag first flew above the Continental Army, many soldiers saw in it the promise of unity. But others, especially enslaved people and indigenous tribes, saw contradictions. To them, the red symbolized not only courage, but the blood of those who were never free. The white that symbolized purity was stained by the hypocrisy of inequality, and the blue of justice was still a dream. Over centuries, as America evolved, the flag's colors became a mirror of the nation itself, its ideals and its flaws. Chapter 6. A Hidden Hand. There's a lesser-known theory that the American flag's colors were also influenced by secret societies beyond the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians. The Rosicrucians, a mystical brotherhood that emerged in Europe in the 1600s, used the same tricolor symbolism: red for the blood of transformation, white for spiritual rebirth, and blue for divine wisdom. Two of the founding fathers, including Thomas Jefferson, were deeply influenced by Enlightenment philosophy tied to Rosicrucian and alchemical thought. They believed that color carried not just visual, but spiritual meaning. To them, creating a flag was not just political, it was a form of sacred geometry, a symbol meant to awaken a nation's consciousness. Chapter 7. The Starry Connection. The stars on the blue field have their own mystery. Washington once described them as a new constellation. Astronomers have long noted that the pattern of stars on early versions of the flag was not fixed, sometimes arranged in a circle, sometimes in rows, sometimes in complex patterns resembling star clusters. Some suggest that the new constellation was metaphorical, a symbol that the United States would shine as a beacon among nations, but others whisper that it might have been literal, a hidden astronomical reference used in Masonic teachings, connecting the destiny of the nation to the heavens themselves. The blue field, after all, was not just a background. It represented the infinite sky, the realm of divine justice, and the symbol reborn. During the Civil War, the flag's meaning deepened again. As brother fought brother, the red stripes came to represent the courage of both sides, and the white stripes, the hope of reconciliation. By the time of World War II, the flag had become a universal emblem of freedom. Soldiers carried it into battlefields across Europe and the Pacific. For them, the red, white, and blue were not abstract. They were life, loss, and legacy. But even then, whispers of the flag's hidden meanings persisted. In Masonic lodges, Masonic officers would teach that the flag represented not only a nation, but an ideal, a covenant between humanity and truth. The modern meaning. Today, we see the flag on schools, courthouses, and spacecraft. It was the last thing Neil Armstrong saw before stepping onto the moon. When he saluted the flag planted in lunar dust, it symbolized not just national pride, but a continuation of the same dream that began in 1777. A belief that freedom, justice, and courage could reach beyond Earth itself. But with every generation, the meaning of the flag evolves. Protesters burn it, soldiers die for it, immigrants dream beneath it. The same colors mean different things to different people. And maybe that's the ultimate magic. The flag's mystery is that it holds all meanings at once. It belongs to everyone, and no one. In the end, the red, white, and blue of the American flag are not just colors, they are living ideas. Red, still reminds us of the price of liberty. White calls us back to the purity of our founding ideals. Blue urges us to strive for justice that reaches as high as the heavens. Whether born from Masonic ritual, ancient symbolism, or the raw emotion of revolution, the flag's palette was never accidental. It was meant to tell a story of courage, imperfection, and hope. A story that began with rebellion and continues with every hand that raises it against the wind. And so, every time the flag flutters in sunlight, remember, it's not just a piece of fabric. It's a living mystery, a code